As a mum and a former paramedic, I know how important safe sleep for babies is. I encountered many situations where safe sleep practices weren't followed, sometimes with tragic consequences. There are 3,500 deaths a year approximately in the US due to sudden unexpected infant death. This includes SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome, accidental suffocation, and death from unexplained causes. 1 in 5 of these deaths is usually when a baby's being cared for somebody who isn't their primary carer. SIDS is the leading cause of death in the age group of 1 month to 1 year. It's not really known what causes SIDS, but research is ongoing every day. Thankfully, there are some really simple steps that you can take to ensure safe sleep for your baby, and that's what we're going to talk about today. There are 4 core safe sleep guidelines, and we're going to go through each of those, and I'm going to give my extra paramedic advice as well at the end of the video. The first core safe sleep guideline is the ABCs of sleep. A stands for alone. That means not co-sleeping with another adult or sibling, and that includes a twin. B stands for on their back, so not laid to sleep on their front or on their side. And C stands for crib, and that's for night and daytime naps. Please don't put your baby to sleep on a sofa or plan to sleep in a car seat. The ideal place is in a crib or a cot. The second core safe sleep guideline is to set up the crib or the cot properly. That means a firm, not hard, but a firm mattress that fits the cot properly, no gaps around the edges. Don't put the mattress at an incline at all, like this. It should be flat. Make sure the sheets fit well and don't bunch up. And the baby should be alone in the crib or the cot. No bumpers, toys, pillows, blankets, just the baby in their appropriate sleepwear. The third core safe sleep guideline is to check the safety of the environment. That means that animals shouldn't be able to enter the bedroom where the baby's sleeping at night. The crib should meet the federal standards and be in good condition. Loose screws, broken slats, this all needs fixing or replacing. Also, keep the cot or the crib away from the windows. The likelihood of your baby at some point reaching up and grabbing the cords is pretty high, and there have been a few cases of strangulation. Make sure your baby can't reach any toys by poking their hand or their arm through the slats of the bed either. You might have created a really lovely, safe, clear cot, but the baby might be able to reach down and pick something else up and pull it into the cot with them. The fourth core safe sleep guideline is the room setup and environment. The baby's cot or crib should stay in your bedroom with you for at least the first 6 months. This has been shown to dramatically reduce the risk of SIDS by about 50%. The room should also be smoke-free. So if you are a smoker, please don't smoke in your bedroom where your baby sleeps or any environment that your baby sleeps. The room temperature should ideally be between 61 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 16 to 20 degrees. This is the perfect temperature. But of course, things can change with the seasons if you live in a seasonal country like me in the UK. You may want to invest in a room thermometer so you know exactly what the room temperature is. We're not very good at gauging that, especially postpartum women, because we can get hot and cold very easily. So a room thermometer is such a great idea, and I used mine a lot with my children. Generally, the rule is to dress your baby in 1 more layer than an adult would be wearing. Please don't put a hat on your baby if it's cold. This is a big no-no. Generally, hats are only suitable for babies when you're out and about in very cold weather. Or usually, just in the first 24 hours of life. Babies should never sleep in a hat for a multitude of safety reasons. Look in the description below, and I'll leave a link so you can get your own copy of this chart. put it up in the baby's room, your bedroom, and it's just a really easy way of quickly glancing at the thermometer and then glance at your chart, and you know exactly what to dress your baby in. You'll see that the recommendation is layering and that there are different togs of wearable blanket. Wearable blankets or sleeping bags for babies are a brilliant invention. They come in different togs and are a fantastic way of keeping your baby snugly and cozy when they're too big for a swaddle, but aren't quite safe enough to have blankets in with them. Now for my extra tips as a paramedic. Like I say, I've been in many a home and I've been to many a child, baby, concerned parent, and unfortunately I have seen quite a few occasions where simple safe sleep practices might have prevented some very serious outcomes. My first little tip is to start your baby off asleep with their feet touching the bottom of the crib or the cot. This way, if they're a bit wriggly, they won't be able to wriggle down any further into their wearable blanket. My second tip is, we talked about wearable blankets before. They're just amazing, and you can tell that I love them. But when your baby's too big to be swaddled, you can continue to swaddle, just leave the arms out, or this is when you could switch to a wearable blanket, but make sure it's the correct size and fit for the age of your baby. There are so many different types of wearable blankets out there with different TOG ratings. Please do your research, make sure that these blankets pass the safety standards, and you might have to test out 2 or 3 different designs until you find the one that you like and your baby. When I say the one that you like, what I'm talking about is easy access at nighttime to change the nappies. My third tip is to consider the use of a pacifier or dummy. My first baby loved hers for a long time. My second, not so much. He preferred to suck his thumb, and still does. Pacifiers or dummies are brilliant. We know that they can reduce the risk of SIDS. We don't know exactly why, but it does seem that they are helpful in this regard. But please don't attach strings or anything else to the dummy. They're not designed to have anything attached to them. It's not ideal, and the baby could get wrapped up in the string during the night. Another thing about pacifiers, please don't try to put them into your baby's mouth when they're already asleep. It's just not recommended. They can use one to help them go to sleep or to pacify them, hence the name, but not when they're already asleep. Tip number 4. Now, I'm a breastfeeding coach, so of course I'm going to say this, but breastfeeding has been shown to reduce the risk of SIDS as well. There's so much help out there to support breastfeeding mothers, but I do know that it is tough. Now, I know that breastfeeding isn't for everybody, and that's absolutely fine, and that some mothers can really struggle with breastfeeding. I mean, to be frank, show me a breastfeeding mum who's not had some ups and downs in her journey. I know I definitely did. If you're breastfeeding or you're having some trouble or you want to learn a bit more about breastfeeding, please head over to my website frombumptobubble.com. I've written well over 100 blog posts about breastfeeding, challenges, tips, and everything you can think of. So please have a little look, reach out to your local community or your local lactation consultant, or get in touch with me, and I'm more than happy to support you through your journey. My 5th and final tip is to avoid co-sleeping with your baby if at all possible. I of course mean co-sleeping at night in your bed, but I also mean about falling asleep on the sofa together as well. Now, as a paramedic, I went to some occasions where parents have fallen asleep with the baby in the bed or on the sofa. You know, I understand why it happens completely. I really do get it. There's no judgment here. Some parents, this is their plan, this is what they want to do. Other parents, they never plan it and it just happens. You know, as far as I'm concerned, these are your children. You must make whatever decision you feel is right, you know. But there are some ways that you can make co-sleeping safer if that's what you want to do. And we'll cover that in a later video. But please, if you can possibly avoid co-sleeping, please don't do it. Follow the safe sleep guidelines of ABCs instead. Always get specific advice from your pediatrician or your healthcare provider about your circumstances and your baby with regards to safe sleep. There are plenty of resources out there to help you make some decisions about safe sleep for your baby. The American Academy of Pediatrics and the NHS are brilliant resources on this. I hope you found this video helpful and you got some more ideas about how you can make your baby's sleep environment as safe as possible. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.